Well, finally, the science-based versus the other side, I suppose. The debacle has came to a culmination.
Wow, Drake is about to ride for these natty science.
Finally, it's come to and there's been a lot of tension on social media between science-based training and like old school, and it felt like this was like the peak of it all. It like all went down because both sides, I feel like both sides, especially the old school guys, want to do exactly what Mike wants to do and just fucking
slam these young kids in the fucking ground.
Exactly. So I think it was a long time coming before a situation like this happened.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like you never want to see it happen. You don't probably know the entire backstory. I've heard so many things. I watch Mike on my podcast. He's like an active member of my podcast every week. And the dude, has been a bodyguard for like fucking 30 years. So he's not like someone to fuck with. He's a big guy. I think he's a little aggressive. There's no question about that. He's got tattoos on his fucking face, his head, everywhere. He's not like a light guy.
Yeah.
He's a hardcore guy. But I assume that there had to have been more provoking that was outside of that video than we saw, because I don't know, from what I've seen and I've seen other guys try to fight him at the Arnold because he's so big and he's that guy.
Yeah.
People have came up and literally been like, "I'm gonna beat your fucking ass, Mike," and he'll just be like laughing and he's so chill and like because he's not scared of anybody. The idea that he would go up and aggressively start fucking with this little guy, it's either an ego thing, or maybe Jeff was really chirping in like the background.
He pushed the right buttons.
He did. He must have. I love the concept that it's the science-based natty guys versus the old school druggy guys.
It is literally like that. It's crazy.
Didn't the Nippard guy? Didn't he make like something like refuting like?
Mike,
so what was that?
Mike made a video basically shitting on science-based training. It doesn't work. Yada yada, and he made a video explaining something. And then Jeff made a video. There's basically like a green screen on that video, kind of rebuttaling, like this is wrong, yada yada. Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to have a discussion?
Okay.
And that is something to note about Jeff is he's kind of sarcastic. You know, he's like your classic like kind of smart ass.
That's a stupid video to put out. I mean, anybody with an IQ above 4 is gonna know that, there is some, if you want to get big as hell, there's science behind it. Like, yes, there is that psychotic old school intensity, but there also has to be rhyme and reason to it. So, to completely shit on that, I probably would see that and be like, okay, look, dumbass. So shit.
I definitely think that, like I said, once again, even outside of that circumstance, because I kind of was sandwiched right in the middle of these two generations where I started lifting, like the old school was just kind of coming to its like culmination, if we want to call it that, when my first couple years of bodybuilding, and a lot of the old school guys were my friends I bodybuilded with, even as I switched to more of the science-based. And then obviously I've seen the science-based now, and I do see like what both perspectives are. Like, I think that like there are a lot of guys training like pussies with the background and like the excuse that they're being science-based. And then there's a lot of fucking guys hurting themselves, training way too hard in a way that doesn't even make sense, who are acting like they're tough because they're brutalizing themselves. And the truth is that somewhere in the middle is the true answer. But just like politics, just like anything in the world, we see hard lefts and hard rights.
That's how everything works, dude.
Everything in the world. But,
literally.
But look who won the fight, though. Old school.
Technically.
Who do you want on your side in a fist fight? In a fist fight, who do you want on your side? Do you want old school, hardcore, clanging and banging weights on steroids? Or do you want little natty tricep extensions?
So fucking funny. I think that was an unfair fight. Like, for anybody.
And he fucking pushed him over the seat.
He did.
Like, he kind of like a bench, like you getting benched. Like, he totally planned that shit.
For anybody of that, like, God,
Mike's huge.
That's
300 pounds.
Uncalled for. There's really no place for that behavior, I would say. Like, that's
I would say
ridiculous.
Yeah. I do
whether
think
it was right or wrong doesn't matter. Should it have been? Should have happened? No.
He went to jail. I think he's going to get a felony charge for assault.
Probably. I mean,
so who's losing now?
That's what I'm saying,
But then Jeff had to be a real fucking wuss about it and had to go get that CT scan.
Yeah, that I was like, come on. He like post that little sad look.
He did kind of look sad. He's like,
looked all sad. He has like it looked like a hickey on his neck. I'm like, dog.
I watched the video and I saw him fall, obviously, but at no point did I see him hit his head very hard.
That's what I told you.
I think
Drake.
they were.
Like,
it was probably a CT doesn't just have to be your head.
Yeah, it could be the neck.
It could be the neck. It could be anything.
Yeah, but I just like it felt like he was like
soft-ass natty boys.
Yeah, he softened it up real quick. He lost so much people's respect in the fight when he did that. Like, there were so many people that were like, "Come on, dude."
When he got the CT scan.
Yeah, people were like, "Come on."
I don't know, bro. That blew up. People were like fucking puppy dogging it.
I know.
They were.
Like,
Oh my god.
They were.
Yeah, I said I have a lot of friends who love
whatever
Jeff to
creator you like, you're gonna support. So like these Fuad Abiat, for instance.
Yeah.
Like good friends with Mike, even if Mike and I was watching a Greg Doucette video list, what would you have to do to like your fan base to kind of like not agree with you?
Yeah.
You know, how far would he have to go to where like people are like, this is not okay?
Well, most people that are fans of Mike are also fans of that mentality.
Yeah.
So that's what you get. And also,
like,
Jeff is a Jeff's fans.
Fuck him up.
Jeff's fans know him as like a softer guy.
Yeah.
So they're also probably softer guys themselves or softer gals.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think it's also a really good example where we're kind of seeing this come to a head. We see it in so many gyms locally. We see it in gyms all over. Everywhere we travel, we still see it. Like we see it every gym we go to. There is this like toxic, fucking, I don't know what to call it, just toxic tension in
There's
gyms
lots of
nowadays.
tension in the gym.
Gyms, once again, and I'm not fucking that old comparatively, but I just remember bodybuilding 10 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago, and it was just so much fun. We would like always
more
be together.
camaraderie.
The old guys love the young guys. The young guys look so much up to the old guys. Now you see all these young guys that just disrespect the old heads. You see all these old heads that fucking hate the young guys. You see the gym owners who don't have like good relationships with the fucking people, and because the people are always pissing them off. And you see the people who don't have good relationships with the gym owners because of that exact back and forth conflict. It just feels like there's such an opportunity for this thing. I mean, we're all going to the gym to get better. We're all going to the gym because we love it. We're all going to the gym, in a lot of cases, for people like us who are going there to coach, train, do anything stuff, to help other people even. And it's like, how can you find a way to twist that into a toxic angle? I know that, drug exposure doesn't change
Social media does
that.
a lot of it.
Yeah. Social media does a lot of it. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of like explicit sexual behavior in the gym. There's a lot of toxic masculinity versus like, hormone fluctuation existing in the gym. People's egos and insecurities are super on high at the gym. Throw pre-workout and fucking stack of gear in there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Max is at the gym more than anybody we know. I mean,
yeah, but honestly, I am kind of just above that at this point.
Yeah.
I've been having great times in the gym. I feel like the gym, if you go in there, it's kind of what you make of it. If it can suck, or you can, even if you don't enjoy it, you don't have to complain
just
about
put your
it the whole
headphones
time.
on.
Just fucking do your thing.
Yeah.
It helps when you're a
having
superstar.
Great times. Yeah, it does.
When you're a superstar.
When things are going.
It's really nice. It's really nice.
I've been having a lot of fun in the gym. The gym is nothing but.
Max just takes his shirt off and everybody's. No one gives shit. Max, we shouldn't have even asked Max.
Right.
It's not even fair. No one gives Max shit. He takes his shirt off. Everyone just oohs and ahs.
I enjoy myself.
People would take their own credit card and buy him a Powerade out of the vending machine if he asked them to.
I needed it. Honestly.
I don't know. It's just the old versus new age. I think this is actually what it's a battle of.
Yeah.
Not like science-based training versus old school. It's like literally old versus new age.
Yeah,
like the
Bodybuilding's
generation
evolving,
coming up.
Man. It's just
It is evolving, and the
there's
older guys
so much access to
don't
it.
want to
Before,
admit
it was
that
so
it is.
hidden off. I feel like that's true. When really I think it's good for the sport. Before nobody before internet or anything, bodybuilding was probably such an underground thing.
Imagine doing gear back then when there's no knowledge.
God,
and nowadays, obviously, there's an over.
I don't know. Let's try it.
Exactly. And now it's just constantly we're getting influx with our Instagram feeds, social media feeds with all types of knowledge, whether credible or not. And it's just like, man, you got to just settle down, stick to what's worked over the years. Find somebody that you trust, find someone accredited.
Yeah.
Gosh, it doesn't have to be that complicated.
Just because something does work doesn't mean that it can't be improved. And I hate that mentality.
And everybody's different. Nothing in this fitness realm is certain. There are some things that will work for some people, and it will not work for someone else in the exact same situation and scenario. And it's like, what the hell? How does that? And it's just the way it is. You have to be good at using intuition.
There's so many angles here, because I would even add to it, one of the big things that I tell people is that just because it's the best way doesn't even mean you have to do it that way, because a lot of times we're talking talking about these micro percentages. Like nowadays, everyone's like, lengthen positions. Everything's lengthen positions. We got to train in this lengthen stretch position. But like the research shows you're gaining like 8 to 10% more tissue over a year. We're talking about gaining 10 versus 11 pounds. It is a tiny micro amount more tissue. So if training in a stretch
Pound
position,
is a lot.
It matters.
a pound is a lot. I'm not going to deny that. And if the
pound counts.
But my point is that if you hate training in a stretch position, you're still going to gain 10 pounds. You're still going to, like, for me, stretch positions hurt me because my joints are really bad. So, like, I can't do them as much. But if I'm in this mindset, like, I have to train in a length position, I'm just going to hurt myself or hate the gym.
Yeah. Or different exercises where, like, oh, dude, I have to do this one. Or, like, what workouts do I have to do? Or if someone says to someone else, like, you have to do this workout if you want to pick back, like, why do I have to do that one?
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, you can literally do, if you're targeting the muscle that you're supposed to be for that day with the movement and training it hypertrophic focus towards or near failure, it doesn't matter what exercise you're doing, just tear up that damn muscle and you're going to be fine.
I rarely
not to dumb it down that bad,
no, it's
but
serious.
like come on.
Jay Cutler used to do sets of like 5 to 10 sets with reps of about 20, always lightweight. Motherfucker's like one of the biggest Olympia winners to ever step on stage.
He did do a lot of pump work.
Yeah,
like, that's kind of how he liked training.
His thing, if you train
Don't get me wrong, he pushed the loads, and not like Ronnie, but still.
If you train yourself with intensity, you'll grow. There's no question about it. Is there ways to grow better? Yes. I think a lot of these old heads,
that stimulus.
A lot of these old heads are upset because they feel like, I think there's a mixture of tarnishing what they did, but they think that. But also, they probably feel some regret in the fact that, like, if you're 40 and you did it wrong for 20 years, that's pretty disappointing.
But that's still your choice. Like, for instance, Andy Weissel. I've been talking to him a lot, and he's been learning from a lot of guys like Kuba and J3U who have really taken it upon themselves to adapt their training. And he's really leaning into adapting his training. And, you know, he's grown like crazy. And his joints are better. Good. You know, he doesn't have to push these crazy volume and these crazy loads, and he's still growing.
And then we see, and just to be the devil's advocate here, which I believe what you're saying, we see guys like Ryan Malarczyk on the other end of the spectrum. That dude is so high volume all the time. He doesn't like doing less than 15 to 20 reps. He doesn't like doing that small, low volume training. And the dude's like the biggest guy we've ever seen. Like, you know, like he's huge as hell. You know, he's got farm boy genetics, but still, on top of that, it doesn't matter. So, like I said, at the end of the day, it is kind of interesting to see these old gym head and this young, you know, science-based guy in the gym going at it. But I think, like I said, it's like you said, Drake, this is just the culmination of tension that's been building for a long time.
In the industry, on social media.
And you see even it happening. People are taking sides right away. They're like, this. So
it's very interesting. I think ultimately the best way to figure out is it's going to take a few years of experimentation to know exactly what works for you. Like Ryan, figure it out. Holy shit, squatting 30 reps every set for 5 sets makes my legs grow. And he's never stopped doing it.
PRs too. Chase PRs. He hits them. He's growing. That's how it works.
Like for me personally, I like training a little lower in the rep range, focusing a little more on more strength stimulus. But for others, like Ryan, you know, it's completely different.
I'm more of a 12er. I like 12. Give
somewhere in the between.
It's funny. Even myself, I'm always a little bit higher rep guy. I really like seeing the 15 plus sometimes reps, and that always did well for me. I think one of the best ways that this whole situation could be handled that I would enjoy the most, and I think would be the most beneficial, is if those two could do, like, not a TED Talk, but you know when they sit two people down for like a panel. That'd be really great. Sit them down and if Jeff's right, rip Mike apart and let Mike at times maybe rip Jeff apart.
Mike, that's the problem with the situation, is that on an intellectual level, when it comes to real knowledge about nutrition and training, I'm sure Mike has obviously anecdotal experience, knowledge. When you break it down to brass tacks on the mechanisms and how it actually works, Jeff would just drag him through the dirt. Literally, and that's what really makes him mad, honestly.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too, because at the end of the day, the science is the science. You know what I mean? And I will say, I'll add,
it's not the be-all end-all.
We've seen the science change a lot too, because it was like, you know, like every one of these things that we believe so deeply now, I can remember 6-7 years ago where I was telling clients the opposite because the science said the opposite then. You know, but things change. Things change.
Yeah, things change, and I think this is you know, we haven't heard the last of this debacle and like kind of the debate versus it might actually turn things up a notch. So we'll see.
That'd be fun, man. I'm excited. So we will have to check back in with this. Obviously, we'll see if Mike goes to jail. We'll see if he gets assault charge. We'll see if these guys talk it out. We'll see if they do anything. But honestly, you know, the bodybuilding industry's been entertaining lately. So we
Team Jeff, by the way. I'm Team Jeff.
I might be Team Mike.
What team? What team? I don't care.
I don't
Team
care.
Mike.
I literally.
Come on, dude. You got to pick one.
Dude, I'm the perfect hybrid.
He's Switzerland.
No, you got to pick one. I won't
hybrid.
judge you if you pick Mike. Okay, you can be on Mike's side.
Dude, I'm not on that.
I just think
side.
Mike's cooler.
But I'm not. I'm also not on the side of fucking.
Okay, what if he didn't get a
boy.
CT scan? I was gonna say, what if he didn't
get a CT scan? I mean, dude, he literally he made the video of him ripping his old school, you know, he stood up for science-based training, which I agree with, but he was probably being a little bit of a smartass.
Yes.
Then, how did he go into the same gym as him? That's asking for it. Like, he had to have known with both of their clouts that he trains there. Like, he's walking in there like, what's going to happen?
Poking the bear.
He was poking the bear.
He poked the fucking bear. So, like,
then he puts the CT scan up.
Tough.
Which Mike should not have done that. No. But this little dude poked the bear. I feel like it was just avoidable. I feel like deep down, low key, it was all for social media clout.
What if they were both? Ooh. Let us know in the comments if you think that's the theory.
Conspiracy?
That's the conspiracy.
They planned it all.
Hey, because that shit blew up.
Two steps ahead. And now he's selling merch. He's selling merch about this situation.
Mike's merch is
come on, dude.
He has a shirt that says no content. No
we have been run amok.
Form against me shall prosper.
That's so great. You know how many of those he's probably sold?
Oh, fuck ton.
Oh, I love that.
So maybe we're onto the con here, Hercules. It was all social media con.
We'll see.
We'll be back at it soon.
Later.